For my project, I'm looking at the paper called Analyzing Animal Movements Using Brownian Bridges. My project involves looking at Twitter data and seeing if a certain known type of distribution called a Brownian bridge motion model can be used on human movement. So in this paper, the authors develop a framework of applying Brownian bridge motion models to animal movement, and they try to apply their ideas to 3 different test cases using GPS data on the animal movement. The authors talk about their techniques for estimating the parameters needed to generate this distribution, and they also talk about the advantages of using Brownian bridges in this case compared to something called a kernel density function, which at the time of this paper was the more traditional way of doing it. So the problem that this paper poses is that the estimation of animal home ranges can be difficult using old techniques. And what they aim to do is to create, in this picture, what you're looking at is a probability density function using Brownian bridge motion model, and it's between 2 points in space and time. The 2 peaks of this strange looking hill are the starting and stopping location, and each consecutive contour line shows a specified area where, given a certain time value, you could predict the probability of the animal or person or object being in that particular contour at a particular time, given characteristics about the movement trajectory between the starting and stopping location. So the goal of this paper is really to show that this mathematical model can be used on animals. And they do show here that on the left picture is using a Brownian bridge motion model, and the right is using something called a kernel density function. And the big difference between them, and you can kind of tell by looking at it, is that it's a little bit crisper when you use the Brownian bridge motion model, because on the right hand side, the kernel density function, it calculates the range of this animal based on the assumption that there is an underlying probability distribution to the points, when in reality, with an animal going from point A to point B, the Brownian bridge motion model takes advantage of the fact that the animal is starting at point A and ending at point B, and it makes the calculation more accurate. They also demonstrate a use of this in terms of black bears crossing the road. So one benefit of using Brownian bridge motion model is that you can take 2 points that occur right after each other, or in any amount of time that's different between them, and create a probability density around just those 2 points at a time. So what they did here is that the white dot is where the bear was, and then another white dot is its next location. And they took pairs of points that started on one side of the road and ended on the other, like the bear crossed the road, and they created like a distribution around those points. And as you can see down here, that's a place where a bear started on one side of the road and then ended up way on the other side. And they show that between those 2 points, that's kind of the distribution of where the bear probably would have gone in between crossing the road, which can be used in a multitude of ways in terms of if the bear deviates from the path, why does it deviate from the path, and maybe trying to estimate how much time the bear spends in certain locations. The major results from this paper are just that, they do show that the Brownian bridge motion model can be used in these specific cases and optimized to find the parameters needed to calculate it in a very easy manner. Thank you.